Okay, we are going to be looking at the overview of our final learning plan, which is learning plan number 5, and I named it Fab Lab Fun. Okay, Fab Lab Fun. So as we click here on that learning plan folder, you're going to find here that the lecture videos are here, but then also there's just the homework folder. So the intent here of learning plan number 5 is for you to create a part. And you'll notice up here, this gives us kind of our overview. But that part, that model, needs to be done in Creo because that's what we've been focusing on, okay? And I don't mind if you use I'm going to say inspiration, but you can't use these files, okay? Because I have to see the actual Creo file and then the Creo part file and the STL file, okay? So you can go to GrabCAD or Thingiverse, or if you have something that you want to reverse engineer, you certainly can do that, all right? If you have some other type of a design that you want to do, it doesn't have to be completely, from your imagination. It can be inspired, but you have to create the Creo file, the part file, then convert it to an STL, and then we'll send it to our Fab Lab in order for it to be made. Okay, so the next thing, once you have it created, you're going to be uploading it to the drop boxes that we have down here. And then additionally, I want you to determine what the cost is going to be, because you're going to get like a $25 credit, if you would. Okay, and that $25 credit you can use to make whatever part you want in there. Now again, it has to be something that you created in Creo. You have to spend time creating that model, okay? If you just show me an STL file, I have to see that it was created on Creo, all right? So like I said, you can't just grab a file from the internet. You can use that for inspiration, but you need to then make your model and then the STL file to send over there, okay? Now, you can use any of the FDM machines of your choice, and it must be under $25, as I said here, and that includes both the model and the support material, okay, model and support material. So you're going to have to meet with John Pelland to determine the amount of material and the support material needed so that you can then estimate that cost, okay? Now, you're going to submit the model and STL file to the Blackboard Dropbox here, okay? And that's going to be worth 20 points. And then your cost calculations are going to be another 10 points, okay? Another 10 points. So make sure that you make an appointment with John. Now, he's available quite a lot, but just know that this last week, these last couple days are pretty busy for him. So you will need to, make an attempt to get here. Don't wait till Friday, all right? Because there's a good chance that he may not have time for you. It's first come, first serve, and or making an appointment with him. So, so I did include his email down here. So feel free to contact John directly for any assistance that you're going to need in this process. Now, cost calculations also are going to come from when you run your STL file through the Slicer software, all right? And that's going to be specific to the machine. So it's hard for me to say what that cost is going to be because it depends if you run it with PLA material or if you run it with ABS and on what machine you're actually going to be putting it on. So, so that's where the appointment with John comes into play. Now, if we get to the end of the semester and you don't get your cost calculation in, it just goes to a 0, and that's a 10-point deal. Now, I can't say exactly how it's going to affect your grade, but the one that is going to affect your grade much bigger is going to be, or going to take a bigger hit on your grade if you don't hand it in, is going to be the model. So I would focus on creating the model, getting the STL file made, uploading those first to our Dropbox here, and then you can run the part after that. Just because, again, if you need to set priorities, your priority is going to be on making that model and that STL. Now, your STL and your model, again, have to be created starting in Creo. And then, for instance, if let's say making it full size may go over the $25, limit that you have in there, then what you'll need to do is just maybe scale it back or make it smaller. And that's something you can do again as a scaling effort in the Slicer software. But again, you're not going to know that until you through that process, okay? Now, as far as size-wise, it's gonna depend on the machine. So that's another reason that we've got to kind of get, that information from the lab. So for instance, on Zach, I'm gonna lean on you. What is the build envelope on the Enders machines?
250 millimeters by 250 millimeters by 250 tall.
Okay, so I'm going to repeat that. 250 millimeters by 250 millimeters by 250 millimeters. So that's your cube size.
220 by 220 by 250. Sorry.
Okay, 220 by 220 by 250 is going to be your Enders envelope. Okay. Now the envelope for the other FDM machines is a little bit different. I would gravitate towards the Enders only because number one, you're going to find that cost-wise material, it's going to be the most cost-effective, and it does have a little bit bigger build plate than maybe some of our other FDMs as well. So those Enders are like workhorses for us right now. So I would probably start there. So that's how I wanted to kind of kick this off. So really, your priority is to make your model, or I should say, get your inspiration, make your model, create that STL file, and then from there, take it that next level. But focus on getting the model done first, because that's going to be, if you would, best use of your time at this point if you're kind of crunched a little bit. So, so let me know if you need any help on this assignment. Otherwise, I'm going to be done. Any questions? Okay. All right. I'm going to stop sharing and stop recording.